Okay, so let me show you what I mean here. So we pull open the stats, basically looking back for the calendar year, April 2013 to 2014. You get a good macro perspective. First up, new listings up 6.5%. Pending sales down about just as much. So it looks like we're doing a little bit of this, okay? Closed sales, even worse off. From this point last year, down almost 13%. Now, median and average price up 13 and 15 respectively. That's obviously, on the heels or the riding on the coattails of the huge run up that we had, which peaked out about end of last summer, matriculated into fall. So it's almost the tale of two tapes there, right? So you go back over the year, there's really two little micro markets that happened. The big, huge flail of the run up driven by investor speculation, and then the return of inventory and the pendulum of the seller market started to swing ever so slightly back towards the buyers. Now, the only other point I wanted to make on here, days on market is down 20 days from this time last year. I'm going to go out there and say that I am disagreeing with that stat, not the numbers of it, but the direction of it. It looks like it's returning back to a lower inventory. I'm actually seeing the opposite. I'm seeing inventory starting to swell in the areas that my buyers are looking. Now, whether it's actual inventory that they can actually go buy is a different conversation, but we're starting to see that, again, that homeostasis start to swing back. Now, here's a big one down here. Housing affordability index. That's the triangulation of available mortgage rates, available money basically to go buy stuff with, the average sales price for a home, and then the average amount that people are making in a given little geographic area. That's not good. That's saying that basically that's the cost of the investor speculation, the all cash guys that came around last year, pent up the 15 and the 13.5% run-ups that we had in prices up past the people that were actually getting loans. And we're going to see that continue to deflate our sales prices in the not too distant future, which is all correlating for me to one big takeaway, which I want to show you. Our friends over at First Journal, they love, at First Tuesday Journal, they love aggregating numbers for us, and I love it when they do because they help kind of take the Wall Street stuff and give us meaning for Main Street. And here's an important little point that they made here. I want to read this to you real quick. Today's yield spread, this is the available amount that the banks are borrowing money at as a corollary to home sales volume, is near the highest it's been since 2011. However, it's not enough by itself to signal future prosperity for the housing market. Today's meager home sale volumes are inflated home prices portends a flat housing market for the remainder of 2014. That's point number one. Two, home prices are still riding high on the wave of speculator activity, talked about that a second ago, but are expected to ebb in the next few months. Home pricing won't likely return to today's speculator-driven levels until the next peak in pricing expected in 2019 to 2020. Now, it goes on to say that right now is a good time to hold, but that's only in context. And what I mean by that is, people who need to sell are typically, it's a corollary to timing, right? And so if you're in a spot right now where you're thinking to yourself, there could be an event that's either looming or some reason why you're not able to actually portend, as they say, out to 2019 or 2020 and revisit this conversation, and now might be the time that you need to liquidate that asset. Well, guess what, folks? Now might be that time to consider liquidating that asset, because while we're already seeing the shift happening, the truth is we're still riding high on that investor speculation. So it doesn't mean that your home is going to sell. It doesn't mean it's going to sell for maybe the amount of money that we would have hoped if this were maybe, say, 6 months or 8 months ago, because of that return of inventory and the fact that people are getting into escrow and actually selling homes at a little bit lower of a rate than new ones are hitting the market. What it still suggests is that we're in a better spot right now in the summer months when most people are out there trying to find a home than if you held it and we revisited this in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 36 months, maybe out to 2019. So if you'd like a copy of any of these reports, and by the way, I can actually get it as specific as your neighborhood, not just the macro of San Diego County. I'd be happy to do that. There's going to be a link on this YouTube video in the comment section or in the information section down below. You're more than welcome to hit that. Let me know what you're after, and I'd be more than happy to put one in the mail for you, fax it, email, carrier pigeon, whatever works for you best. So thanks for checking in. Let me know if you have any questions, and look forward to seeing you next month.